Hi friends. If you're noticing a new background behind me, yes, I am in my new home and it is so wonderful and amazing and lovely. I'm very excited to show it to you, but I have very conspicuously put everything out of this shot because I am not ready to do my home tour vid yet. So I'm being sneaky and giving you a blank wall. Not that there's gonna be tons of stuff on the wall anyway, you know me, but I've got a couple finishing touches to do, so stay tuned for the home tour vid. It is coming soon. In the meantime, I wanted to touch base with you today and give you the rundown of sort of where I am and the recent changes that have come into my life, and sort of give a little talking point on that because, spoiler alert, I am not at the beach anymore, and I am actually not anywhere close to it. I mean, close is relative. I'm not in Canada, but I am not walking distance from the beach and living that coastal lifestyle anymore. And the reason is, after a hellish nightmare of looking for apartments and just spending all of my days scrolling on Craigslist and Zillow and Apartment Finder and emailing people back and filling out applications and then getting denied because 30 other people applied, and then looking at places that were $2,500 and had no kitchen and were like 200 square feet, or were just absolute dumps, or smelled like mold, or had no laundry facilities at all. It was just a disaster and a nightmare, and I had to come to the conclusion that I have officially been priced out of the coast. And while I have been so blessed to spend almost 5 years living literally directly on the beach in San Diego and the North County of San Diego, which I think is one of the most beautiful beaches in the country, if not the world, I flat out just didn't get what I wanted. And sometimes that happens in life, but it was a good lesson in surrender and seeing where I was fighting and creating resistance and pushing so much to have this agenda of what I thought it should be, and this identity of, oh, I'm Alicia. By the way, that's my name. Some people have asked. I don't ever really use it on this channel, but I'm Alicia. So hey, hi, that's my name, side note. But I had this attachment to, I'm Alicia and I live in North County on the beach and I can walk to the coast every morning, and that is a huge part of my lifestyle. And I paid an exorbitant amount of money to do this, but it had done so much good for my mental, physical, spiritual, emotional well-being that I was happy to pay that money and have it be part of my lifestyle. But it's ever since COVID and so many people shifted to remote work, and a lot of those people were higher expendable income types, there has been a mass migration to San Diego because remote workers are like, well, why am I sitting in the snow in Detroit on my computer when I could be in the beach in San Diego on my computer? So there has been a mass migration to the North County of San Diego, and rent has just gotten absolutely outrageous. And as I was getting down to the wire and kept hitting more resistance and wall after wall, I had to tune within and realize that I was creating all of this resistance, and that the universe was actually asking something new of me, asking something different of me, asking me to release this identity of I'm Alicia and live on the coast. Because there was, even though I didn't make the ocean, I didn't make it so beautiful, I realized there was almost this sort of ego pride with it, of being, you know, so proud of where I got to live. And it was definitely wrapped in gratitude as well. But there's so many sneaky instances, I think, in life where we can have these things we're so attached to, and when you're holding on so fiercely and so tightly, it can actually cut off from growth in other ways. And when in my 20s, if I met resistance like this, I would get angry or feel victimized or think to myself, what am I doing wrong? Whether it was not getting a job I wanted, not getting a relationship I wanted, not getting a advancement or a score or placement in my competitive years as a swimmer that I wanted. It was all very internalized of something is wrong. But I know enough now, and I know enough to know I don't know anything at all, but I know a few little nuggets of just truthful patterns that have shown up in my life of when something is, you're just hitting your head in the wall. It's not because the universe is out to screw you. It's the universe is saying, hey, this isn't working for you anymore, and I actually have something way more awesome to plan for you if you would just let go of control and be open to a different possibility. Then there might be something more wonderful that you can't see that you have in store. And that's exactly what happened. After the last failed application of I found somewhere wonderful, but I wasn't the first to apply, so I didn't get it. and I was down to 2 weeks of my lease left with nowhere to live. It was getting extremely stressful. Not that I have a ton of stuff to move, but I have to find somewhere to live. And in such a shitty market, it's just not something quick you can do. So I completely surrendered the love affair I had with living on the coast and said, okay, I have to do something different. And so I moved inland. I'm still in the northish county of San Diego, but I decided to run for the hills. And I'm actually in an area where I know it well because I used to teach around here, and I always thought it was very beautiful. And I think a part of me was really drawn to want to experience life here, because even on my years on the coast, I would often come out here for hiking or just to clear my head, because while the ocean is magnificent and beautiful, it is also very, very crowded in California. And I think it had this sort of sneaky, I don't want to say bad effect, because the coast was so wonderful and healing for me, but there was another different kind of restlessness and hustle and bustle of the incessant crowds, especially in summertime, that was kind of oppressive in a certain way. And for me, as I've shared many times how I had decades of my life where I was an overachiever and addicted to stimulus and a workaholic and just beat myself into the ground and became very unbalanced and unhealthy. Being able to relax and have peace and chill and zen is like tip-top priority for me, along with love and freedom. I guess I would say those two. But if I'm not able to just chill when I have such a chaotic job, and I'm also trying to do a good job with this channel on top of that, and just trying to be a good human, if there's just constant buzz of energy around me, I do think that has a long-term effect. And I think it has a long-term effect for a lot of people. Like when I was living in Hollywood, I thought it was so exciting that I'm in this crazy city that goes, but it was actually terrible and a world of hell for me. And it was destroying my health without me really even seeing it, because we get used to being on this treadmill. So anyway, back to where I am living now. It is very spacious and open and hilly and has mountainy vibe, not like the Rocky Mountains, but like there's definitely mountain-ish around me, and so many trees and just beautiful hiking trails. And I feel like I can breathe in this new way here. And for this next phase of my life, as I am turning 40 in a couple weeks, and I've, over the past year, adopted a very, I would say, intense practice of slow living and silence practice, which has become crucial not only to my well-being, but I feel like to my growth in the inner world, I would say. And then that's cultivating things on the outer world in a better way. Having openness and spaciousness and just so much nature around me. Not that the ocean isn't nature, the ocean's beautiful, but the ratio of humans to nature at the coast versus what it is out here, nature is a more dominating force, and I can feel the calming effect that it's having on me. I moved in yesterday, by the way, but a good tip to when you're cultivating change into your life and you're unsure about it, at least for me, there's this knowing and this pull to when something is right. And when I toured this place and saw it, and I was just like so strung out from seeing like 30, 40, 50 places at this point, I don't even know, there was this knowing of, oh, okay, I can rest. Yes, this is right. And the rent is still very expensive. I'm still in San Diego, but it's about what I was paying. But it is a bigger spot and a very, very different spot, which is a good thing. But there was this knowing when I'm signing a lease is a big commitment, but I felt in my heart, oh yes, I don't have to think about it. And a friend of mine, my best friend actually, she had this spiritual teacher one time that said, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. And I've really used that as a mantra for just a guidepost in my life, whether it's shopping, because I am very, very picky with what I do bring into my ultra minimalist life, or a big decision like a job or moving somewhere or letting something go or any other type of decision. When it's right, it will present itself as right. Your intuition, if you sit down and shut up for a minute and shut the noise out around you, it will show up as yes. And you can make instantaneous decisions that are not impulsive. Impulsive is a pushing force, I feel like, versus intuition is a pulling force. That may sound kind of woo-woo, and that's certainly not any sort of scientific thing. Those are the best words I can just put on it from my own experience. When I'm pushing like I was to get that, try and find another apartment on the coast, or pushing to get some kind of job, or pushing to make a relationship work, which we all know that doesn't work at all. It is a very different energy, and it's a very forceful energy, and it is not in flow. Versus if this pull, that's the best word I can think of. It's a very subtle thing. It's just this knowing, like, you know your middle name. Oh, my middle name is blank, or my hair color, it's brown, my eyes are brown, I'm 5'8", like the factual things that you could just spit off, or like habitual things like, you know how to brush your teeth in the morning, you just do it. Intuition for me shows up like that. And when I found this place, I applied on the spot and signed a lease on the spot, because something in my heart was like, yes. And there was almost this familiarity to it, even though I had never seen it before. There was this feeling of home. So I went with that. And after moving in yesterday, it took some time, but compared to how other people move, probably not that much time. I didn't film a unpack with me video because I want to just save the big reveal for my home tour. But all in all, it took me, I will tell you, I'm on the 3rd floor. So getting all my stuff up 3 flights of stairs took, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, not that long. And then I did spend some time unpacking because it's a completely different new space and a totally different layout. So I had to figure out how to organize things in a new way. And then there were a couple bits and bobs I did need to shop for. I didn't want to buy a ton of new things, but they were just because the space is different, and because of my old place, well, with the mildew situation, there were a few things I had to let go of. There was a little bit of shopping that needed to happen, but all in all, everything got done in one day, which I was very pleased about. And I even got to try out a new Thai restaurant that's across the street from me, and it is bomb. So I'm super excited to have that new spot. But the point I'm coming to is, when you hold on so tightly to things, it can really inhibit your growth, whether it is a physical object or a habit or a relationship or a job. When you're gripping so tightly on these things, it can give you the illusion of safety, of security, of just doing well in life. And those are good things, but I think when something is out of balance and it is time to shift, it's going to start pushing at you. And whether you see little problems like Mercury retrograde-ish type, like, how the hell did this happen? Why did my tire on my car pop again? Or why did I drop that glass again? Or why do I have this pain in my body showing up? The universe, if you're refusing to change on something, the universe is going to start knocking on your head and asking you, say, hey, I've got some growth planned for you, but you're not cooperating, and it's your right to not cooperate, but things are going to just you're going to see resistance all across the board on your life unless you decide to let go of this thing and be open to shift. And I've been in this space for one day, so has my life magically shifted and all these crazy new different things have happened? No, of course it's been a day, but I definitely feel an energy shift, and I feel this, I don't even want to shit on it with words because it is such a finite sort of energetic experience, but it's just this knowing of, oh yes, this is exactly where I need to be in my life. And for anyone out there who's sort of dabbled in, we're going to get a little woo-woo here. I am not a professor woo-woo, but I do enjoy reading about these things and have found certain truthful patterns of these things in my life. There is a theory called reality transurfing and or quantum jumping and or just like, we have all these different timelines of things we could be doing in our life and all these different possible versions of our life all happening at once. There was that movie that came out recently, Everything Everywhere All at Once, that sort of touches on this. And is this factual and true? I don't know. I'm not a quantum physics professor, nor am I like a new age guru or whatever, but I have felt in certain times in my life when I can feel like this is like the wrong track. And I'm sure a lot of you have felt like that too. Or it's not necessarily a damaging track, but you can feel like you're on a hamster wheel, like I am not going anywhere. I'm not growing. I'm not evolving. I'm not changing for the good. I'm just sort of existing. And I think that's a state I have been in the past couple years in the coast, even though it's been very beautiful and healing and calming and centering. I definitely have been wanting to evolve to a new phase in my life, and being in this new space, I felt like I literally jumped onto this new little quantum track. Like, again, there's no other real exact words I can give you for it other than that it's this like subtle feeling, but this knowing of, I literally felt like I jumped into a new reality. And of course you could say, well, yeah, duh, you just changed where you live, but changing this, you can change all of your surroundings, but not change yourself on the inner, because you're still stuck in certain patterns or behaviors, and you won't shift because you are still attached to those things. Like you can, a lot of people, they if they're not looking at certain inner wounds, they'll just keep attracting the same type of relationship into their life over and over and over, or the same toxic boss into their life over and over, or the same health problem over and over. And they may change, you know, a job, or they change the relationship, they change where they're living, they change what they dress, they change how they do their hair. But if you're not changing on the inner, the outer means nothing. But this outer shift, I think, coincided with an inner shift of surrendering and realizing that this new environment is going to cultivate a new way of being for me. So that was kind of a rant on where I'm living, but the moral of the story is home tour is coming soon. It is beautiful and wonderful and amazing, but very, very different. And I'm very excited to see how this space nurtures me and holds me and carries me into this new decade of my life. And I'm excited to see what I can allow to come through me for that. And I will leave you with a challenge / food for thought, not a should, because I hate shoulds, you all know that. But if you feel, if this video resonated for you at all, maybe take a gander on the inside and say, ask yourself, what have you been holding on to, clutching onto so tightly, whether it's a job or an identity, I'm a runner, or a relationship that is maybe not serving you, or a way of eating that you are stuck on, or a way of just certain habits, maybe it's drinking, or, you know, the list could be endless, or maybe it's actual physical objects around your home, because we know we talk about decluttering on this channel a lot, whether it's an old vase, or this chair, or this set of dishes that you think you need and you hold on so tightly. And ask yourself, what would happen if you let that go? And dig deeper and say, see the other, where there's resistance showing up in your life, whether it is some chronic health issues or some chronic dramas in your life. There's, you know, you see people that they're just always in a fight with a friend, or always in a fight with a boyfriend. And again, you can rotate them through and they're always in a fight, and they're the common denominator because they're not facing some inner wounds and some resistance of things they're holding on to. So ask yourself, and let me know in the comments if you would like, what is something you're holding on to that is creating resistance and showing up as different patterns in your life that would maybe serve you to release and let go of and step into the unknown with. Okay, that is the video for today, and I will see you in my new space coming soon. Will the next one be the home tour? I'm not sure yet, honestly. I'm still, again, it's always dependent on light for me and times of day with my work schedule to film too, and I'm waiting on a couple finishing touches. So I hate to be a tease, I'm sorry, but I promise it is coming soon. And in the meantime, whatever video comes next, I will hopefully see you there. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.